Right now.
A lot of realtors are walking this way, and I'm just going to ask if they know how to house homeless veterans. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
No.
Okay.
I sadly do not.
I do not, but I would love to learn.
I do not.
I do not, but I would like to know how.
The answer to that is no.
No. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
I do not.
I do not.
Do you know how to house a homeless veteran?
He's a veteran and he would be
Come
homeless
here.
if I did not house.
Okay. We're here at the Capitol, Illinois State Capitol. This is the lobby day for Realtors. And I did make an announcement on the bus about my 3-hour course that I wrote to teach Realtors how to work effectively with a homeless veteran. Just because the veteran is homeless doesn't mean they don't have resources to use to get housed or to get anything else they need, because they do. But how do you get to those resources to help that homeless veteran get housed? I've got the class and it'll be out soon. Hey, everybody. YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And I'm trying to find, wait a minute. I have connections to get to me in my books. And because I don't even know my YouTube channel name, just type in my name, Yvette Jones Swanson. And, oh, here it is. And, I don't even know. It's on a QR code. So I don't know. Type in VetMentors. That's probably my YouTube channel name. I just go on and on and on like the Energizer Bunny, because hey, Jose, welcome to YouTube. Jose, what's the YouTube channel name, please? Let me know what it is. America. Nope. I'm not. That's not my page where I'm streaming from now. But if you click my name next to it, it'll go to it. VetMentors. I don't know. Jose, please tell me what it is. So I want to welcome you all here for another episode of VetMentors, Boots on the Ground. Let me see. What is it? Hey, Jazzy lady. How are you, Strange Snaps? I want to, welcome everybody here. And, let me tell y'all something. For everybody who is new to me, and it's probably all of you coming in who are new to me, I have been housing homeless veterans in the Chicagoland area for over 22 years. This new here. Thank you for being here. This has been new to me, coming live on social media, talking about what I've been doing for 22 years as a realtor, as an advocate, as a business owner, as a former homeless female veteran, as an Army veteran. And and it has been a long haul, a long rocky road, a very long haul. I've been looking for this information. Yeah, well, it's here now. And I'll tell you, the reason why I have never put this information out is because it was personal. It was personal to the veteran, and it was personal to me as a former homeless veteran. Yeah, that was rough. And for homeless veterans now, it's rough for them too. Some of them want to be introduced to the public because help is still needed. I'm only one person here, and I'm here in Chicago, and now I'm just going national maybe 6 months ago. And when I went national, I had already created this library series of books for the community to learn to do what I've been doing for over 22 years. So let me just introduce myself, and then I'll talk about some more stuff that's going on in this community, and how you can get involved in helping this vital community. So my name is Yvette Jones Swanson, and I am an Army veteran, and I was a homeless female Army veteran. I was homeless due to domestic violence in my own home. And at the time, after I discharged from the military, I married a Marine, an actively serving Marine. And he was very abusive, physically, mentally, every type of, just horrible. So I would leave and go to the VA and ask for help. I'm a veteran. You see my picture up there in boot camp. Oh, right, I'm right here for TikTok. I'm right here for YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook. And in boot camp, so anyway, so I got out of the military and met this dude, married this dude, and he was just the worst. So I would run away, and I never had anywhere to go except to the VA. Because I'm like, can't you send the military police to get this dude, do something, get Chicago police, do something? But nothing was ever done about it. And that went on from 1987 to 1993. And you ask me why I stayed that long. Well, let me tell you something about discharging from the military at 19. Yes, at 19. What does a 19-year-old have? Coming from public housing, CHA housing, that's Chicago Housing Authority, public housing. We had nothing. So at 19, when I discharged from the military due to military sexual trauma, I came back home to nothing. I didn't have any benefits. I didn't have any resources. I had nowhere to live when I was going through the battles of being in a battered marriage, battered home. I don't know. So I had sense enough to enroll in school, and I did finish my bachelor's degree, and that took some time. And I knew I had to finish that because I knew that would be a check that I could earn every 2 weeks, more than what I was earning working 2 part-time jobs while attending full-time school and taking out student loans, because I had not been awarded any benefits by the VA. I had no check coming in. I wasn't service connected at all. I couldn't even go to the VA to the doctor. So it was real rough doing 87 to 93. So when I graduated and I started working for the city of Chicago, the Department of Revenue in the business licensing division, and I licensed SROs, that's single room occupancy. I'm like, well, damn. You get low income housing all around the city, from the north to the east to the south and the west. These were single rooms, 350 square feet to 500 square feet, over 200 buildings. And I was in charge of a task force that licensed every single one of them. And I'm like, well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. I could have lived in one of these $350 a month apartment. My 2 part-time jobs would have allowed that much, but I didn't know about that. But I remembered all of those times that, is part of my journey that I went through to be here now. So beyond that, I was introduced, and I'm purposely not putting in all the pieces, all the intricate details, because it's a lot, but during this journey, I was introduced to real estate. The first apartment that I was able to rent out of homelessness was in a multi-unit commercial residential building. And on the first floor, it had commercial space and it had a laundromat, which I was thrilled because I needed to wash clothes when I finally got them, because my ex-husband cut up all of my clothes. I didn't have a stitch of clothing when I left that was not cut up. Not even a winter coat. And I'm in Chicago, and the winter time came and I still didn't have a winter coat. I know, it was horrible. So he introduced me to real estate. And I'm like, I never heard of that profession before. I never knew how people purchased houses because I came from public housing. I'm a project girl. My parents never owned a home. I'm first generation homeowner, the first generation homeowner. So when I became a realtor, I'm like, and I bought my own home, 4 years out of homelessness. And I didn't know when I became a realtor, we say, you got to sell houses. Well, how do you sell houses? Because in real estate school, they don't teach us how to sell houses. Real estate school teaches the law and the forms. Not even, you got to go and get the forms and read the forms and study the forms. So I'm like, well, how do I sell anything? Where do I meet these people at? So I wasn't good at selling in the beginning. I'll come to that. I wasn't good at selling in the beginning because I didn't have a managing broker who was there to really teach me. He allowed me to come to the office and answer the telephone. And I'm like, I'm not learning anything this way. So my sister introduced me to a guy who owned a rental agency, and that's where I was able to start thriving. I learned the rental market, and it changed my life. So speed up to, I left one side of town where everybody had money. Nobody had a Section 8 voucher. Nobody had assistance from social service agencies. People had good jobs. They had great credit scores. It was never a problem. Nobody was ever denied. Everybody came in perfect, 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 perfect. So that's what I was used to. So now I get a call to come to the south side of Chicago. And I'm like, first of all, the South Side is known to be, not too safe. And I'm just coming from the North Side where it was, just everything was wonderful. But I eventually gave in and I went to the South Side. And that's where I met poor people who were on fixed incomes, who had vouchers, who were using other funds like from Catholic charities and foster kids coming from Lawrence Hall Youth Services and Kaleidoscope and the city low-income housing trust fund for poor parents. And this is my new world now. So now I'm getting introduced to all of these social service agencies and where this money is coming from to help these poor people. And I'm like, wow, this is a market all by itself. You don't see realtors housing this segment of the market. And I wasn't even thinking like, this is a niche market and I'm going to, blow up, because I had already blown up on the north side, housing perfect people with over 600 credit scores and excellent job income, 3, 4, 5 times the amount of rent. And now I'm coming down to these people who don't have any money or very little money, like Social Security, pensions from their job, which wasn't a lot. And now the social service agencies. And I'm like, wow, this is so wonderful. I get to give back, give back something that I wish I had when I was homeless. So, and I thought about it that way too. And I also thought, like, what can I give them more than they came to see me with? A lot of them needed information on utilities. They needed information on the bus route. They needed information on the nearest grocery store, the nearest clinic or hospital. So I just started gathering up all of these resources. And every time I rented a unit to a person, in 600, I managed 633 units in 14 different buildings. I would go from building, fill it up, and then go to the next building, fill it up. And as the world turned, it ended up being 14 buildings and 633 units. And I would say 95% of these tenants were on some type of subsidy. And then one day, one of the agencies asked me to come and speak at a meeting. Hold on a second. I need my fan. At a meeting they were having. Okay, I got it. Whew. It's hot in this room. So I came to the meeting, and I knew about the agency because I had been housing clients from the agency. And this was an agency for disabled people. And when I went and conducted this workshop to talk to the clients of Access Living, the letter is in a couple of my books, and the letter you'll see is in this book right here. So, and I conducted the workshop at Access Living. All of these poor people, homeless, at risk of becoming homeless because they were in wheelchairs and they couldn't go up and down stairs, and where they were living were not ADA accessible. It was horrific. And after the workshop, I'm meeting everybody, and I had already brought an inventory with me of properties where they can choose from, depending on their mobility. So during the intake and meeting all of these clients of Access Living, I meet a veteran in a wheelchair. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're homeless and you're a veteran? I had never met another homeless veteran, because as I was filling up these properties, the first group of tenants that I housed were emancipated youth. So this agency, Lawrence Hall Youth Services, and Kaleidoscope, it was one more. They didn't do too much business with us, but that was my first clientele of the homeless or at risk of being homeless market as a realtor. Now I'm getting commissions. Even though I'm managing these properties, I'm still getting commissions for renting the units. That was my agreement. I'm not going to just sit up in here and do this or that, because now we have all of these people living here, and now the buildings need to be managed. So I'm still going out drumming up renters everywhere. So at Access Living is where I met my first homeless veteran in a wheelchair, and I did get him housed using the financial services that Access Living had access to. Put it that way. Was these agencies, and that's what I'm going to talk to you all about today. Where is the money? That's what people want to know. You have all of these homeless veterans, and people keep saying, Yvette, I want to house homeless veterans. Okay, well, that's very nice and very noble. And then people will tell me, I just got one email today from someone who said, Yvette, I keep going to the VA and I'm meeting the social workers, and they're not sending me anybody. And I just say, okay, you should be glad they're not sending you anybody. Because if those veterans are just homeless and they're not connected to a financial source, then you're not going to get paid. All homeless veterans don't have incomes. And the homeless veterans, let me change it around. All homeless veterans don't have income. Some homeless veterans do have income. The people who I work with the homeless veterans that don't have income, but they have resources. Are you still asking for Facebook for money for your daughter? What? My daughter doesn't need any money. My daughter is in college under federal VA benefits, and she has 2 jobs on campus, one in the VA office and the other one in another office. So no, she doesn't need any money. Just stick here. I have a private group. So these are my publications that I wrote. I just don't talk. You want to read, you have to go and get some books. These are my publications right here. And my publications are in my bio. So when you go to my bio, you can read the titles of the books. For instance, this one, hold on a moment. Media asset. And I'm going to show you all over here. Okay, right here. So this book right here. No. Okay, wait. Can y'all can see this book over here. All y'all can see this book. I'm trying to use my assets on Facebook and YouTube and okay, wait. I think I got it. Okay, I got it. So now YouTube has it. It links in and Facebook and TikTok. So this book right here, A Guide to Veteran Shared Living Models. So this book, go get this book. If you say that I want to do veterans housing, because I also talked to you about HUD-VASH and SSVF funding. You want to know where you're going to get paid and go get the book. Once you get the book, send me a DM message to let me know you got the book, show me proof that you got the book, and then you'll be added to my private group, and that's where I do more. I'm in Arizona. Yes, it applies to every state. This is federal. I'm federal, state and local. So everything that I'm talking about for veterans housing is all 50 states. Because all 50 states have the same type of funding. So this veterans shared living models, that's in my bio. So those who say that I want to house homeless veterans, go get the book, read. And I do have a monthly workshop and monthly Q&A right now, but then I'm going to be doing a monthly Q&A and a monthly masterclass on any of these books, because there's a lot of information in this community that you need to know. And asking me a question or two is not going to fill your brain with all this information I have in my head. Trust and believe. So this right here, let me just show y'all. This is the third edition. Hold on. This is the third edition. Here you go. Veterans Buying Real Estate Guide for Today's Market. This is the third edition that I put out. Okay. I have been housing homeless veterans at the VA. Here's a picture of me at the VA. That's that Jesse Brown VA. And then another picture. Let me see. I want to keep y'all on the same track. At the vet centers, all of these vet centers in the city of Chicago. For 22, it's been 23 years. So 22 plus years, 23 years, housing homeless veterans as a realtor, as a former homeless Army veteran. And everybody can do it. It takes it. You have to learn how to do it. If you want to be a provider, if you want to be a realtor like myself and get commissions. Wait a minute. Okay. And get commissions, because let me tell you something about housing homeless veterans. Where are they going to live? Where are they going to live? For real. Answer that. Where are they going to live? I don't know how you become a VSO. Google that. I don't know. I'm not here talking about becoming a VSO. Google that. So veterans have to live in somebody's property. They got to go to somebody's house. As a realtor, somebody bought that house. Somebody went to a closing. Even if the house was willed to them, they received the house in a settlement. They have a deed to this house. Somebody is responsible for the payments of this house. If there's a mortgage, there's a tax bill somebody has to pay, there's a water bill, there's upkeep. So somebody is keeping this house together. Who is this person? This is your investor, right? This is your landlord when you move in there. So whoever this person is will receive a check every single month for this veteran to live there. Who's going to pay for this veteran to live in this house? Well, we've got a lot of funding sources that can pay the rent for homeless veterans. And one of them is HUD-VASH, Housing Choice Voucher, which is a federal program. It's in your federal benefits book. You can go to va.gov/get started and download this book. And when you get it, go to page 67 right here in the book. And it talks about HUD-VASH. Now, is it going to tell you how to do it? Is it going to tell you how to get the veterans? No, not at all. So that's why you stick with me. Go get the book, whatever I'm telling you to get. If you are a realtor, go get this book. If you want to provide housing for veterans, go get, where is it? Hold on. I got 31 books altogether, but in this series, I've got 10 books. Go get the Veteran Shared Housing Model book, okay? So whoever owns this house, whoever is the receiver of the check from HUD-VASH, from any of these, which I didn't even talk about, the second monies that we're going to talk about today. This is over $900 million amongst 411 agencies nationwide that the Department of Veteran Affairs on August 27th and September 23rd. These are two documents here that indicate these 411, 235 first, and then they came back and gave an additional 176 organizations over $900 million to be used, and I'm going to read it right here, to be used for housing, housing counseling, healthcare, financial services, childcare, legal assistance, and transportation. So that's I'll talk to y'all about this money in a minute. Okay, let's finish this house in Section 8. Okay, so this gal owns this house, and they said yes to this veteran who has the Section 8 moving papers. They're going to get a check every month. There's a lot of paperwork, but as realtors, we're used to paperwork, right? So realtors get this book right here, Realtor's Blueprint, so you can learn how to house this veteran in this house and get a commission. So now 3 people are happy, right? Even 4 if the owner of the house has a lender. So you have a lender getting a check, you have a former homeless veteran living comfortably, and you have a realtor who just received a commission. So I've been doing this for 23 years. It's going on 24 next year in January. And I've housed over 5,000 homeless veterans. I've worked with a few, I don't know, a couple thousand investors. And my investors over 22 plus years have entrusted me, and their letters are also in this book. You can read what a few of my investors have said about me, even one of the congressmen. So hold on a second. These are a couple letters from my investor clients right here, and that's in the real estate book. So housing homeless veterans, it takes education. You're not just going to walk on the scene and say, I want to house a homeless veteran. And it's a lot of homeless veterans out there. And I've got, yes, HUD-VASH. I've got empty rooms and I want to put them in beds and this and that. Well, who's going to pay you that money? It's not that easy. You go into the VA and you want to go talk to these social workers right here. Well, these social workers, and that's another book I have. If you are a social worker, go grab this book. This book right here teaches you how not to let these homeless veterans walk out the door homeless. Social workers, they have a job to do. And it is not, let me see. Okay, their job is to see who qualifies for the program that they're currently working on. So if they're working on the program, they're the social worker for veterans who may receive HUD-VASH if they qualify based on the checklist that they have in front of them at the VA. So if they qualify based on that checklist, then this veteran is then referred over to HUD so that they can be issued a HUD-VASH voucher. So you have the social worker at the VA, and then you have HUD. So you have the Veterans Administration, and then you have HUD. These two agencies work together on behalf of that homeless veteran who received this voucher. So as a realtor, I teach you how to work in this community, to work with social workers and to work with the voucher. And this is the voucher for Chicago, the request for tenancy approval packet. Not the whole packet, it's just 3 pages, but this packet is like 30 something pages. it's like our contract, our 8.0 real estate contract. But this right here, I've got one now that we're filling out for a client with a 2-bedroom voucher. So that'll be finished this evening, just in case the agent starts asking me on Facebook, Yvette, did you finish the paperwork? No, but I will have it finished this evening and it'll go out tomorrow. And Tara, if you're here, your client has to re-sign it because the signature was already done. Oh my goodness. So that's what I've been doing, housing homeless veterans and educating the community for the past 22 years at the VA. I didn't come out to the public to tell anybody anything, because when I did come out to the public and wrote my first class, because I'm also a real estate instructor, I wrote my first class for the board, I think back in 2014. And that class was called Legal Issues, Legal Issues, Housing Choice Vouchers, in parentheses, Section 8, Legal Issues, something like that. And it was a Core B class. We don't have cores anymore. We just have licensing classes and some electives. So that Core B class I taught to agents, realtors who said, I want to learn how to work with Section 8. Okay, good, because that's why I wrote the class, so you can go into the community and help these voucher holders, help these poor people, because truly that's who receive vouchers, the ones whose income just doesn't, it's just not enough to pay rent. And with veterans, that's part of our federal benefit. It's in the book on page 57. Go download it, va.gov/get started. So I've been advocating for a veteran in Virginia who has a 2-bedroom voucher. Let me go ahead and play the video over here on YouTube.
Hello. Good afternoon, Yvette. Hey, we're doing a little cooking here. We're going to have some pork chops.
Pork chops
With mojo on it.
with the mojo on it.
And then we got some yellow rice
The yellow rice.
that we will be warming up on the grill. And then we have sweet potatoes, which are good for diabetics.
Diabetical meal for your favorite little Sunday afternoon.
Yes. In other words, we're having a good meal today.
Oh my God. We need a shower too after all this.
That will be something tonight.
Oh yeah, tonight. I'm gonna take a shower out here.
Okay, here's another video. Eight beds, and
These are the Depends I wear every day. These are by Assurance, and these are a size large. And it's like I wear these every day of my life because of my diabetes. And I don't have a bathroom handy. So I have to wear these all the time.
So let me tell you something about the video that you all just saw here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. That's a video of a homeless veteran, and she's over here, I believe, with us on TikTok. And she was issued a voucher in April of 2025. I've been driving, so I missed some things. Oh, it's okay. So this veteran has had a voucher since April of 2025, and that was November, right? So I meet her in August of 2025, and I'm like, oh my God, you can't be serious. But I know she is, because she's still homeless with a voucher in Charlottesville, Virginia. So that just goes to tell me that, okay, these agents, property management companies, private investors, private owners, they don't know how to house homeless veterans using the voucher. And clearly they did not, because she remained homeless. And then after I tell you this story, I'm going to tell you what happened next. I started advocating, finding out where she had applied, then sending congressional letters to Congress, to the state representative, to the mayor, to everybody who could possibly do something about, to the National Association of Realtors, to the Charlotte's association of their Realtor Association group, right? Where all the realtors are, because that's where their license is hanging. No resolution at all. So the the congressman's office contacted me back to say, well, I've got to do some research. And I go right ahead. You want names, email addresses, and numbers? Is in the letter. So just go ahead and call everybody and find out what everybody knows and what everybody is doing about it. So he called me back and he said, well, I spoke to the Section 8 office, that office. And she told me, well, she has a case manager and a social worker. I said, dude, let me bring you to life right now. We are in August. This is August when I sent that letter to him. She's had this voucher since April. Let's count it up. That's April, May, June, July, 4 months homeless in a tent, cooking outside, sleeping outside in a tent, bathing in a creek. But she has a social worker and a case manager. What are they doing? If she's still homeless, why would you even listen to what they said? You didn't question why is she still homeless? What have you done? How are you advocating? Are there any apartments coming down the pipeline that you know about? How can you help her facilitate finding a unit to use her voucher on that's been approved by not only the VA, but also by HUD? But you got a social worker and a case manager. You didn't ask them that? He said, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it really does. So I've been advocating and advocating and advocating. Hey, advocating and advocating until we got to the point where I'm like, let me see that list that you sent me earlier. It was the list of 31. I can get it and show you. 31 private landlords, right? And these 31 private landlords were, I guess, vetted by their department and said to be okay. So this is the list that she emailed me. It goes front and the back. So what did I do? I extracted the names, the landlord name, and the email addresses, and sent them an email, blind carbon copy, and two private landlords on the list contacted me to say, well, she has to do a credit check, background check, employment verification and all that jazz. And her credit score has to be a 620. She has a voucher for homeless veterans. And all of that was still required by their office simply because they don't know the law. And you ask me, oh, Yvette, there's a law that you don't have to do all of those things? Yes, there is a law that you don't have to do all of those things. And even if you do all of those things, they should not be a determining factor that will deny the veteran who has that voucher, who is protected under various federal class acts. Hold on, let me get it. Under the Homeless Veterans Act. Oh, I have it on one of these letters. Thanks for joining my club. To educate these agents on the law and stop denying and declining these veterans with the voucher. Is this the letter? Yeah, this is one of my advocacy letters right here. This letter went to an apartment complex that declined this veteran. It went back to the Charlotte's Housing Authority. It went to the congressman's office, and it went to the agency Tunnels to Towers that actually paid for her and her caregivers' credit check. And it also went to the National Alliance to End Homelessness. All right. And NAR. And these are the requirements. HUD-VASH operating requirements make clear that the program is designed for veterans unable to pass traditional market screenings. And it has what code is under 24 CFR, some ICOT thing, 982.307. Screening criteria cannot violate fair housing laws or obstruct federal protections. Additionally, Virginia Code, some squiggly line 36-96.3 prohibits discrimination based on source of income, including federal rental assistance such as HUD-VASH. HUD-VASH guidance also states that poor credit, past debt, evictions, and related hardships are expected clinical factors, not grounds for denial. And this is Virginia. And this advocacy has been taking place for her since I came aboard August the 7th or the 8th. Contacted the media, August 7th, the Congress. So the problem is, and people ask me this all the time, Yvette, what is, even realtors ask me, what's the government doing about homeless veterans? We have so many. Yeah, we do. And we have so many people in position to get them housed. The money is here. The money from HUD-VASH is here for homeless veterans. The money for homeless veterans grants over $900 million. And then there's an additional 4.2. I got to find that again and prints it out. 4.2 or $4.8 billion for the homeless veterans community. I'm a realtor. I would love to sell big old houses like this, and some I have to former homeless veterans. But I prefer to house the least of these. I prefer to house the least of these because nobody is out there. Everybody is saying we shouldn't have them. But what are you doing to help? What can you do to help? I'll show you. You can go to my bio and get some books and start reading so you can learn how to be more effective in this homeless veterans community and do business with the government. That's who has the money. All of these agencies, when you say I went to the VA and I know they got homeless veterans, they could be sending me homeless veterans. Well, they have not been approved through their intake for funding to send to anybody, because what they're being approved for through their intake through HUD-VASH is for HUD-VASH. It's not the homeless walk-in where they're going to send these homeless veterans to all of these agencies within that vision that have received federal funds. But how do you, as a provider of housing or a concerned citizen or a realtor, work effectively in this community? Go buy my books and read them. And I also have a private group. So once you purchase any of my books in my library, you can be invited to my private group. So what's in my library? I'll go in order as I wrote them. And I'll tell you why I wrote them in this order. It's so much that we need to do in this neighborhood, in all of our communities. So this was the first book I wrote. This is the third edition. This was the second edition. The third edition, Veterans, Veterans, here it is. That third edition, Veterans Buying Real Estate Guide for Today's Market. Go get this book. If you are a veteran who has never used his or her VA loan, and you want to know just how do I do it? What are the steps for me to do it? I mean, this book, go get it. It's on Amazon. It's also in my bio. Okay, it's in my bio. So this was the second. It was just, I had to put more so the book got bigger. And then this book right here, the third edition, also has the steps that a realtor can do to start and conduct veterans workshops in the community. I conducted veterans workshops at the VA, at all the vet centers in Chicago, except for one. I will not tell you. Oh, it's in the book. At Chicago City Colleges, at Cook County Corrections, at the Federal Bureau of Prisons, downtown Chicago, because we have veterans who are being released from incarceration, and they are being released to veteran shared living models that are in alignment to receive veterans from these organizations. But how do you set up your veterans shared living model to be in alignment to receive the funding from those organizations? Because the social workers, that's not their job. That's not their job. So please stop emailing me, telling me, I went to the VA. It's not going to happen. Oh, no, you have to know what agencies that these veterans are coming through. So that was the first book I wrote. This book, 3 years. The first time I wrote this book was back in, I don't even know. But this one was updated in 2004. So now I was at the VA conducting these workshops. Hold on. Conducting these workshops, right? That's my badge. As a volunteer for 13 consecutive years conducting the workshops at the VA, at the vet centers. I did 200 workshops at one vet center. 200. We added them up. So now, when the new administration in the White House, through the Doge firing of everybody, well, they let go some volunteers, and I was one of them. And I'm just out here like, I don't know where to go next. What do I do next? So I took a class. I took this class right here with the VA, with the VA OSDBU office. That's the Office of Small Business Development Utilization. And this was a 6-week cohort. And I didn't miss a day. And I also did all of my homework. And I also stayed 4 weeks later because we had follow-ups so that we can learn how to pitch to the government for government contracts. So now, she said, Yvette, since you're no longer at the VA and your message is so powerful, you have to let people know. So that's the only reason I am here public with my business and with what I've been doing for over 22 years. And I think it's all God's timing, because, you know, we're still in the same predicament as we were when I first started housing homeless veterans. We're still in the same predicament as we were when I was a homeless female veteran. So it's just God's timing that I'm here on live talking to everybody about housing homeless veterans. I've received so many awards, and I just pulled them up here so y'all can see them. This award was given to me in 2025, this year, by the Main Street Realtors Association. This is the President's Award with my name on it, Yvette Jones, for outstanding service and dedication, time generously given to Main Street Realtors, because I'm also a real estate instructor. And this award was given to me by the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs. Illinois Women Veteran Leaders 2025 honors me, Yvette Jones Swanson, for your continued service and dedication to the Illinois veteran community. And this award was given to me by the Omega Psi Phi Chi Lambda chapter with my name on it, Yvette Jones, Women of Excellence in Community Service 2025. I was also in Women's World magazine in March of 2029, and in this magazine with Gloria Estefan on the cover, September 29th, 2025. And the article that they wrote about me is on page 52. So you can go to Women's World magazine and go to page 52, September 29th, and read that article yourself. And this veteran who they used the picture of is also in this book. He's one of the oldest veterans who I sold a house to. He was, I think, 84 at the time. Now he's 87. 87 or 88. One of the two. One moment, please. Where is he? Okay, here he is. Right here. He was celebrating his 84th birthday over here. And this is another, he was born in 1931, this veteran here, when he bought his house. And he was born in 1937. So he became the second most oldest veteran who I sold a house to. And yes, he's still living, and he rides a bicycle. He said, but I fell off my bike. I'm like, why you go ahead and do that? Now you done hurt your hip. But both of them were, well, one, he was a homeless veteran, and the other one, he had to move because he was on the 3rd floor with polio. So go get this book if you want to learn about your benefits and how to use your VA loan. And it's all in my bio. This book for social workers, case managers, human care professionals, so you can stop turning veterans out the door homeless. Like this veteran here who was living in a U-Haul facility until I housed him. He was there for 11 months. That's a case study in this book also. This veteran here who I housed 2 times out of homelessness, being turned away from the VA both times. And I'm also the writer and the publisher of all of my content. 22 years of information is just coming out of my head, y'all. I'm like, it's about time I get to talk about this to people who want to hear it, who care about it, and who want to do it. Because otherwise, for 22 years, I wasn't even messing with realtors. I wouldn't even talk to them. I'm like, you don't know how to house a homeless veteran. You want to, what? I'm not getting paid. What? I was the number 5 in my office. And I didn't get paid for housing all those homeless veterans. How did I end up number 5 out of 700 something realtors? How did that happen? And I house homeless veterans, and you're housing everybody else. So I wrote this book second. The first book, oh, here it is. The second book was, this book is for social workers, case managers, human care professionals who say, you know, I really want to do better. Even though I have this checklist in front of me, I could learn what agencies are in our communities and what they provide to homeless veterans, so I could refer them over to that agency for services beyond what I can do. That's what I teach them how to do in this book. And then this book, Finding Home, I found resources for veterans and help to get them housed as far as Hawaii. That's in the book, Finding Home. So these Hawaii resources went to a female Marine who was able to find the resources she needed to get housed. Resources sent to, and I'm in Chicago. I'm not even in Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii. And also resources for Las Vegas. This young man, I think he was Army with a 2-year-old daughter, single dad, no resources at all, none, until I sent him resources. He sent me in Akron, Ohio. This was a wonderful story here for Akron, Ohio, right? But Las Vegas, he sent me a message to tell me that not only is he housed, but another organization from the list is coming the next day. And this already happened, to fill his apartment with furniture. And I teach you how to do the same thing. And all veterans don't need the same thing. And that's another thing. We have so many organizations in our community. They're not out trying to find these veterans to use this money. And if they don't use this money for the purpose of housing homeless veterans and other resources that they may need, then I had one organization tell me, well, we just gonna have a pizza party. No, let's go ahead and get you some homeless veterans. Let's get them referred over there to you so you could use that money and get them housed. The next book is Innovative Housing Solutions. And this book came out number 1, top release in United States military veterans history. This is the old cover. The new cover has it on there. And it also came out number 1 top new release when this book was issued onto the public. So this is a guide to veterans shared living models for veterans. And it also shows you where to get the money. And any book that you purchase, just let me know and I will bring you into my private group so you can learn more. Now, I am in business. I'm not a not-for-profit. So please don't ask me for anything for free. You can buy my books. To be in my group is free. And then I also have other educational resources that I provide you in the group that you may have to pay for. Then the next book was Veterans Care. I don't think I have it on here. Yeah, I do. Veterans Care Entrepreneurship, because I got a call from a young lady in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm like, you know what? That is a really good idea. Let me go ahead. And it was my intention to do a book like this for every major city. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So Atlanta, so what I did for Atlanta was all the prompts that I give you, you can take out Atlanta, Georgia, and put in your city and your state, and it'll bring up everything you need that way. Because I also teach you how to use AI ChatGPT. Realtor Blueprint, baby, that's all me. This is my blueprint of what I've been doing, housing over 5,000 homeless veterans for 22 plus years, getting a commission to doing it. That's the blueprint right here. Because God was like, you know, let me tell you, I had this market almost took me. I had a heart attack, COVID-19, pneumonia, and a stroke. When I was on the hospital bed after having a heart attack, I was negotiating a deal for a former homeless veteran who had a voucher who I sold a house to. That was the day after I had a heart attack. I didn't die, so I'm still working. I'm a single mom, so I'm still working. Speed it up. I get married. Oh, thank God. I got somebody. My husband is retired military, 37 years, retired master sergeant. So I'm like, oh, thank you. He can take care of me. So now I caught COVID-19 pneumonia and had a stroke. And I couldn't work. So I'm like, I'm a realtor. I got to go to work. These homeless veterans need me. I got to go to work. But I couldn't. It took me like 3 years to get my everything back, you know, my mind and my abilities had changed because the stroke, it affected the right side of my brain. And it just took something out of me where I just can't go out like I used to. So God set me down and dropped this new gift in me. And this gift brought all of these publications out of me to be able to share with you all the gifts that I have. So now the gifts are yours. All you have to do is go buy the books and learn to do what I do, since you say you want to help the community and help house homeless veterans. Thank you. So the Realtor's Blueprint, that's what's up. I made a 6-figure income housing homeless veterans using what's in this book right here. And then I have another book that's coming out, Veterans from Boots to Business. This is Finding Your Passion in Business and in AI. I got to do one more thing before I release this book, and I got to put it in the book. And then finally, the Notarization Made Easy book. I do notaries that are private and confidential. And for people who are in nursing homes, they're in hospitals, they're in their private homes because they're bedridden. They're in wheelchairs at home. They're laid up in the bed. Just, you know, law firms that they have, you know, private cases. Well, all of them are private, but they're private cases, and they're like, we need a private person. And yeah, so that's what I do. So that's my library. So I invite you all to go and get some education. Let me come over here. Let me come over here and read some comments. Hi, Yvette. What's the biggest gap you see between policy and real field work? They're not working together. Nobody's reading the policies. Because if they were reading the policies, then we wouldn't have these homeless veterans still homeless. How can agencies better communicate with veterans during the housing search? Have properties available for them that are already approved by the owner. They say, yeah, well, you can come here. We don't need all that. What early steps can new advocates take to avoid burnout? Early steps. There are no early steps to avoid burnout. Or you know what? You know what? I was thinking about that too. That is a good one. Thanks, Yvette. I'll be purchasing soon. Oh, what good. Thank you so much. To avoid, get on a really good schedule. When I was housing homeless veterans as a single mom, my schedule Monday through Friday was 9 to 5. And the reason it was 9 to 5 is because I put my kids on the school bus at 7:30. I would take my shower and I would take my walk around the neighborhood, and then come back and take my shower. And then I would sit down at my desk and start working. And then I would go out to my appointments that I would have, showings or meetings or whatever. And then I would come back home, probably start making dinner or maybe warm it up from the night before because I cooked it the night before, and get my kids from school, have them eat, do homework, and then we go to all of their activities. We come home, take our baths for the next day. I'm working, doing contracts at night while they're sleeping. I go to sleep, wake up, it happens again. So that's what I would say to avoid burnout. Get a good schedule. Thank you for shedding light on this. What resources would you recommend first? My books. My books. Excellent episode. Any updates on new housing programs for veterans? No, we still have the same housing programs. It's over 411 organizations with programs, and we have new investors who want to start programs. So it could be programs all over the country. Because when you do veterans housing, you have to have a program in order to use this money in the community. Otherwise, you're trying to depend on veterans to pay their client fees. But how many veterans do you know? Where are you going to get these veterans from? Hey, Yvette, I'm here too. Hey, Marlene. Really inspiring. What's one thing communities can do right now? Go get my books and read and learn. Great show. Loving the real boots on the ground updates. Thank you. We still have so much work to do. Okay, Jose, Neighborhood Property Inc. license dead, but took Sergeant Marlene's application fee, who tunneled to towers had to pay. Neighborhood Property Inc. They need to go on that letter that we're writing. They need to be added to that letter. So send me that in an email. They weren't doing anything. I already know. So I'm about to jump off. I got 2 minutes to be on another training. I have a 4-unit building in Cleveland, Ohio as a veteran. I would love to, okay, go get my books. The books that you need. Because this is education. This, everybody says what they want to do, but you can't do it until you get educated. So go to my bio and get this. Get this book. The second book that you're going to need, you're going to need 3. You're going to need this one, and you're going to need this one. But first, go get this one right here. Because I don't talk to anybody. I don't coach anybody who has not read my publications. You can say, well, I've been doing this. That's good. Continue. But go get my publication so we can go from there. Hey, I want to thank all y'all over here on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook. I got another meeting to attend.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.